On Tuesday, the Philadelphia 76ers fired head coach Doc Rivers after 3 seasons with the team. Rivers got the 76ers to the second round in each of his 3 seasons in Philadelphia, but ultimately he wouldn't get no further. Here are the 2 games that got Doc Rivers fired. Game 5, Eastern Conference semifinals, Sixers-Hawks series tied at 2. In that particular game, Philadelphia was dominant throughout and led by as many as 26 points. In addition, they took an 18-point lead into the fourth quarter. However, Philadelphia was outscored 40-19 in the fourth, and ultimately they would lose to the Atlanta Hawks 109-106. Philadelphia should have been up 3-2 going to Atlanta game 6, but they were down 3-2 after that particular game.
It's on us. It's on all of us. It's on me. It's on the players, and we have to figure out how to get back up, which we will, and bring this game back here for game 7.
Ultimately, they would win in Atlanta, but they would lose again in their building, lost in their building 3 times in this series to the Hawks, including game 7. And we all know what happened in game 7. They choked. Ben Simmons wouldn't shoot. And ultimately, Philadelphia was eliminated from the playoffs.
Really disappointing. Honestly, I think everybody's disappointed.
They were the number 1 seed that particular season, and the Milwaukee Bucks were waiting for them in the conference finals. But Philadelphia, they did not finish the deal. Doc Rivers blew another game. He allowed a historic comeback. And again, Philadelphia would ultimately lose to the Hawks. The second and final game that got Doc Rivers fired. Game 6 Eastern Conference semifinals this season against the Boston Celtics. Philadelphia had a great game 5, went into Boston and beat the Celtics, and had a 3-2 series lead with an opportunity to close out the Celtics in game 6 in their own building. However, the Sixers, who had an 83-81 lead with under 5 minutes to go, went cold. And they went big time cold. They couldn't make shots. Embiid wasn't touching the ball. And ultimately, they would lose. Jason Tatum, who struggled throughout that particular game. I mean, Jason Tatum was off for most of the game until the fourth quarter. You look at Tatum, he was 0 for 10 in the first half, 1 for 13 at the end of 3 quarters. But guess what? He came alive in the fourth. He scored 16 points in the fourth quarter, put the Celtics up for good with a big-time 3 with around 4 minutes to go. And then, ultimately, he would hit another 3. He just went on fire, and the Boston Celtics beat the Philadelphia 76ers 95-86, and they were able to get the series back to Boston for game 7. Jason Tatum woke up, was on fire, scored 51 big points. Philadelphia was routed 112-88, and ultimately the Boston Celtics moved on. And again, the Sixers season ended in a familiar spot, which is the second round.
Are you planning to be the coach of the team next year?
Yeah, I think I got 2 years left. So,
given the tenor of what you've seen happen in the last 2 or 3 days, where coaches of the year, guys with titles.
Yeah, no one's safe in our business, and I get that.
And ultimately, Daryl Morey and the Sixers brass said enough is enough. And they fired Doc Rivers and felt like they needed to go in a different direction. And they felt like they needed another guy, another voice to take this team to another level. We'll see if that's the case. But if game 5 in 2021 against the Atlanta Hawks, if that game would have ended the way it should have, Philadelphia probably would have made it to the conference finals. And who knows, maybe they beat the Bucks. Who knows? And then if game 6 would have ended the way it should have, if they would have gotten the ball to Joel Embiid, if they would have took advantage of 0 for 10 for Jason Tatum in the first half, 1 for 13 after 3 quarters, Philadelphia would be in the conference finals, again with home court advantage, and again with an opportunity to get to the NBA finals. Everything happens for a reason, but those are the 2 reasons Doc Rivers was fired.